well. So now one of my aspirations is to get into a law faculty.
We will talk about the law matters.
Because I'm told that there's nothing too high to attain, even if you are old. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But first, we want to build. I want to build a plastic house, a plastic retirement house. That's the next.
It's
the
too
next
laborious,
thing
I think.
Yeah,
But
is it?
Yeah.
Is it more expensive because we're talking about cost a while ago?
I think it will be
Is
less
it more
expensive.
expensive.
It will be less expensive.
Because the bottles are easily available.
Yeah, so, and then you can fill them with sand, and so they take up the space. So you spend less cement and all. So.
But you still have to buy the sand.
No, sun you can get it. If you're ingenious, you can get lots of sun.
Sun in Accra is not
No,
free.
if you want to go and tip sand, etc., but you have to be ingenious about it, because there's a lot of waste sand lying around gutters, places that you can use to fill. Yeah. It's all about, you're talking recycling, so you recycle well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess if we want to do this on a large scale, we may not get enough bottles.
Oh, we'll get more than enough bottles.
Yeah?
Wow. All those that run the drains each day, because you just have to go to one company. Let's say those that the leading producers of the mineral water bottles, and ask them how many bottles, because the bottles are not recycled back to the companies. They are into the environment, so you can just think about how many bottles they manufacture each day.
Yeah.
And you get to think about how many bottles that are in the system.
I've changed my mind. I want a bottled retirement house.
I think when you want to have less
as a beach house.
You know the whites are able to do those things, like have a holiday home and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you have one along the banks of the Volta River, let's say Bator, that kind of, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
That would be really
holiday,
nice.
let's say weekends, the way you love to go around with your children. You go there, you have a speedboat or a canoe, you go around, you cook, barbecue and that kind of thing. But who said before, we're so uptight, shithole attitude is within our
okay, we're not doing that kind of talk right now. What we're doing is to join our roving man Maxwell Agbagba, who is coming to us live from a community which has bad roads. And so Maxwell is joining us live, and you won't believe it, he's in East Legon. And who East Legon with bad roads? Well, he'll tell us exactly where he is. Maxwell, good morning to you. Tell us where you are and exactly the situation as you find it.
Good morning to you, Mama V. Yes, Mama V, we are in East Legon, specifically a place called JoyNews here at East Legon. And the residents here really have a big problem with their roads here. Well, the entire stretch at JoyNews is not, tarred. The road behind me connects to Medina and its adjoining communities. The one on my right-hand side also connects to Adjingano, I'm told, and other parts of East Legon. But the interesting thing here is that the entire stretch of road that we've seen here is actually made of, it's brown. Very dusty. A lot of the residents are not happy about it. They say whenever it rains also, the situation gets terrible. So for them, there's no good time. In the dry season, they would have to contend with with the dust. In the rainy season also, they would have to contend with the persistent flooding or the perennial flooding of this place. I have some members of the Residents Association here with me. Reverend Lai, you're a member. What exactly do you do for the Residents Association?
I'm the General Secretary.
The General Secretary. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted you to look into the camera for me. Tell me what exactly the situation is like. Here I've seen a lot of the buildings. A lot of them are covered, in dust.
Yeah. The problem we've been having here is since the time this road began. I think it began with the previous government, and we know the contractor that was working on is a Chinese contractor. So when they began with this contract, we were able to coordinate with them to make sure that what's supposed to be done has to be done as an association. But we realized that things were not running as it's supposed to. So we, as an association, we approached the minister, that is the previous government, who was in charge of the road at that time. I think we had about 2-3 meetings with the minister, And then we found out that the contractor has not been paid because we saw him parking out.
Yeah.
You know, so we were trying to see what can be done so that he can be paid and finish the road for us, because what has been done here, the problems we are encountering, you know, they make drainages around this place, and the drainage you can see here are not connected. You know, so all the water that comes, when it rains, all the water runs through the streets. And when it rains, the place becomes, I don't know whether you see a waterfall, you know, the way the water runs from the top all the way up here, down to this place. And then we have a drainage here, which the water runs to. You know, so they open the drainage down here so that when the water flows, it can run into that. But there is no opening to this place. So when the water get up to this place, it's stuck down here. So the people here are really suffering. And when it's raining, you know, it's really dangerous, you know, driving through.
Yeah.
You know, just recently we decided to fill up these places, you know, because this place became like a graveyard.
Yeah. We want a cameraman to get an action for you, exactly what, you know, you are talking about. But let me find out from you, Mr. Abe. Now, tell us, I mean, usually when it rains, he's telling us about the drainage system here being, you know, extremely terrible. We've seen the dust also. This is the dry season. I've seen the dust. Tell me, what have residents been saying? And I'm sure you've been speaking to the drivers who ply this route.
Yes. Residents are complaining bitterly more about the drainage system. Look at the drains. And there is only one storm drain down there that takes the water out. It's supposed to join the main gutter that is passing through the Ajerigano Road. But that is big enough. But how does this one get in there? It's terrible. It gets stuck down there and it can't go anymore. So you see the water flow, because it's not frequent, it is slow up here, all the way to the top.
And all of these things you are talking about, you know, are tied to the construction, proper construction of this road. How long have you been fighting to get this road completed?
About 3 years.
Yeah, I think about 3 years.
3 years. Yeah. Yes, we fought this is our secretary, and this is our big minds. The follower up to now. This is my house. See the quota. Every day my child is inside the quota. Every day we go hospital attire. So the chairman and the big men we follow up. The follow up do at sales.
Reverend Lai, you are the General Secretary of the Residents Association here. What assurances, have you received from people responsible to ensure that they finish the construction of this road? Because what we're seeing right now is not the best.
You know, when the new government came on, we tried to approach them, you know, so that they can, you know, pick it from where the previous one left, you know. But I think what we got from them is that they have to settle, you know, and be able to put themselves together and find out exactly what is happening on ground. We've been able to, at least to meet the MCE who came here. He was in our meeting. At least we've been able to discuss that with him. And then he also said he will see what he can do to help us to. But no, we are still working on that, because we've done everything we can to make sure what's supposed to be done here must be done, so that the residents at least will have their peace, you know, and then our children will be saved, you know, because of the way the road is, you know, motorists, you know, some of these guys who ride on motorists use that as an opportunity to steal. They snatch bags, you know, from ladies when they are coming from work in the evening, especially in the night.
Yeah, because so I don't see any street lights here.
No, we've tried to do that ourselves. So when you can see here, we bought all these street lights. You know, then when we were doing that, the assembly came in, and then they gave us some few street lights to add to what we have, to repair the broken ones. Yeah. But we as residents, we are, you know, taking care of all these things, you know. So we believe that if the government can come in, you know, and help to put these things in order, I think it will be of a great help to the community.
But the people you've been speaking, have they explained to you why the project has stalled? Have they been telling you?
For now, we've not had any, I can say, any concrete, you know, why now. What we know from the previous government is the contractor has not been paid. So we don't know up to now if he has not been paid or they are trying to change the contractor. Whatever it is, we don't know now. You know, so we are in the dark right now.
Now, let me find out from you, Mr. Abe. So you've been fighting this for a very long time, and I'm sure this issue all the time when you go for your residents association meeting, it usually, would come up at your meetings. What are you doing apart from the, the talk about getting this road fixed at your meetings as residents? What action are you going to take to make sure that something is done about this place? Because I've been interacting with some of your residents. They are not really happy at all about this.
The association or the members in the community can't do much. Rather, we are looking up to the stakeholders, the government, to come in and help us, because all that we can do is to pay our property rates. That's our contribution to the government. Most of the members are even not willing to pay the property rates just because the condition in which our roads are is terrible. So why do we pay property rates? It doesn't make sense anyway to say that. But I think we have a concern which the government has to address, properly address for us. That is the issue. Okay.
Well, you talk about property rates. Another interesting argument that I've heard today is that people say when they go to DVLA, the DVLA officials expect their cars to be roadworthy, forgetting that the roads that they drive on really are not the best, of roads. Let me find out from you. Final words. What are you going to say? Final words.
Yeah, what we want the government to do is that we are doing our part as a citizen of this nation. We wanted to make sure that this community developed and become a place where at least everybody must live peacefully. So as we are doing our part, we playing our role, we expect the government also to do what is supposed to be done. We want to do everything we can to make it work, because we have a dynamic association here. Okay. And we have a lot of people who are willing to do everything they can to make sure it works. So if the government can come in, I think it will be of a great help, and we'll be able to develop our community and then get the road properly done. Okay.
Okay, so that's it, Mama V. That's the state of the roads here at East Legon, specifically at a place called JoyNews. I mean, when you come here, you wouldn't expect that, you didn't expect that in the prime area like East Legon. But the whole stretch of road here in JoyNews, I mean, is untarred. None of the roads that I've seen in this community is tarred. The residents are talking about how they have to contend with the dust. A lot of the vehicles that I've seen parked here are covered in dust. I mean, a lot of the buildings, the structures here are also brown in color, not because they have not been painted, but because the dust have, covered them here. I'm being directed to another gentleman. I want to have him and then introduce himself. Sir, what's your name, please?
My name is Asante.
Please look into the camera for me. I want you to look into the camera. Okay. Your name, please?
Bismarck Asante.
Bismarck Asante, what do you do here?
I'm a taxi driver.
Oh, you're a taxi driver. Yeah. You frequent this route, I wouldn't believe.
Yes, because how the dust is doing is very bad. The road is very bad. We work for here up and down, but how we are seeing the road, government have to help us.
Okay. The other time I was at Kwabenya and I was having an interaction with a taxi driver there at a boom taxi rank. He was telling me, but because the road has not been fixed and, their car gets dirty all the time, even though they wash it. I mean, there's times when passengers would come into the car and then they would insult them and say they don't keep their cars clean. I don't know if you're also enjoying that as a taxi driver using this route.
It's true. The same thing as that, because even the passengers used to resort us because of the dust. After they sit inside the car, the dust is too much. So we have to see and watch the government to help us.
So when it rains, are you able to use this place? Because
No. The rain from the top up to the down here is very bad. Even you can't pass inside. You can't pass inside. The road is very terrible, so they have to look for us. It's very bad.
Okay. I want to say a big thank you to you, Bismarck Asante, for talking to us. So that's it. Mama V, live from JoyNews here at East Legon. That's the state of roads here.
Maxwell, thank you very much coming to us at a place. JoyNews is in East Legon, and who would have thought once you hear East Legon, you think about all the plush, first-class roads and things like that. But there you go. It's not the entire place. I also have my road. I mean, the main road that goes to my place, and it's sad because there's a facility which is the Radio Astronomy Observatory. It's at Kuntunse. The president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, launched it in August 2017. And you know how when the president is going somewhere, they quickly, fix the roads? This was exactly what happened in my community. And I'll show you how they quickly fix the road and just a few months on how it looks. Yeah, it's sad. But we put a post on Facebook because not just about us, Roland. It's about all of you watching the show.
Look
so
up on Facebook.
We're going to go to Facebook and see what people are also saying about their roads. Right, so but Roland, your road is like a first-class one?
For where? They did some brush stuff.
They brushed.
The same thing. And 3 years down the lane. You go and take the pothole. When I'm going. And yesterday, I was going to buy water because there's rationing, And I've been used to it, though. And my son was excited in front of me. He said, I love the way you drive.
He has no idea.
Then I told him, never drive like me.
Apiakusi on Facebook says, Ghanaians are only blaming one person, like Mahama, who spent 6 years at office, but the downfall of our infrastructure should be a question to ask the man we fear the most. Okay, I don't know. How is this related to what we're doing? Yakubu Martino says, I'm still wondering whether our politicians do pass Salaga Tamale Road to see how terrible it is. Kenneth Nate says, Anjeringan to School Junction is terrible when it rains. Let's do something before the rains come down. Banker Freeman says, okay, Banker Freeman, which one are you talking about? We should add your area, Senny West constituency. Okay. Abdul Rahman says, Sabzugu to Nakpale Road in the northern region is very, very bad. It's about 25 miles. The road is always blocked every year during raining season for about 40 years now. No attention has been drawn to it. A lot of women lose their lives as a result of this poor road. So it's quite lengthy, but we get what you're trying to tell us, Abdul. Mashmood also says one thing we need to understand as a people is that education, health, road network, utilities, water, electricity, security are among some of the things that cannot be done 100%. Ayo, we get you, Mashmood. Thanks for sending us a message. El Baya says things fall apart. Dome Kwabenya. Yes, Dom Kwabenya. That road, they can at least brush it for a while. Just brush it. I'm using Roland, so just brush it. It's terrible. From the main Dome Kwabenya road, like inside Kwabenya to Pokwase, it's a disgrace. They said Noah says, please come to Upper Manya Krobo districts. You see bad roads. Okay, so I guess when we're talking about bad, this is like baddest. Dunko Boase Kumase Nana Bwedi Kofi Amponsem says nothing to write home about. Masa, come and see for yourself. We can go on and on and on and on and on. It's just a reflection of a larger situation across the country. Can we see what I shot? The road that was picked August, September, October, November, December, January. That's just 5 months in Kuntunsi. If we don't have it ready, I promise you, I will show you tomorrow, whatever happens. Stay with us. We've got entertainment coming up with the beautiful Becky. And then there's a South African group that got a 5th Grammy Awards. And one of their sounds is a very popular one. It's Homeless. It's a piece of music that you enjoy. It's kind of like gives you a lot of reflection. So who knows? We can play it and wrap up the show with. So we make way for Becky, who's up next with entertainment. Stay with us.
Homeless.